Now, Australia's energy needs is likely to be one of the key issues at the next federal election, whenever it is, with the coalition committing itself to a nuclear future to keep the lights on. Tonight's Four Corners sees reporter Eric Campbell travel to the largest producer of nuclear energy to ask whether or not going all in is a gamble.
How would you describe a policy to build 7 nuclear plants in Australia?
Recklessly stupid and dangerously stupid.
What we know about nuclear is that it's capable of very large disappointments.
There are claims made that nuclear energy means cheaper electricity. I find that mind-boggling.
But there are plenty of supporters in the place where it all began.
I think nuclear energy is the solution to all of our issues with climate change.
My message to Australians, give nuclear a shot.
Okay, and Eric Campbell joins us now. Eric, good morning. So where exactly in the States did you go as part of this story?
We went to the Vogtle nuclear plant in Georgia, which is the latest iteration of nuclear construction in the US. They've built 2 new reactors, the first in almost a generation, because the nuclear industry has been very laggardly and stalling in recent decades. What was significant about this reactor was that it works extremely well, amazing technology, powers hundreds of thousands of homes, but very, very expensive. And as a result of that, power bills have gone up alarmingly in Georgia, which does challenge the coalition narrative that nuclear power will lead to cheaper electricity.
Oh, right. So, as you say, cost is a big issue here. What did the cost far exceed what was expected at the time these plants were built?
Well, the 2 reactors opened 7 years late,
right,
at more than double the budget. So the final bill's about $35 billion US, which makes them the second most expensive generators ever built.
That's a lot of money.
Yes, I mean, the coalition says, well, it was the first of a kind rollout of new technology. By the time we get to it, it'll be, tried and tested. We'll have many more options. So they're not fazed by the high cost of this reactor, but it does point to some of the practical challenges in this very bold plan to build 7 nuclear plants in Australia.
Cost aside, what were the proponents of nuclear energy in the States, in Georgia, telling you?
Well, very much so. It's about climate change now, which it wasn't before, of course. I mean, nuclear reactors started being built in the 1950s, but because they're, zero emissions once they're built, and so many countries are aiming for net zero, the argument is you won't get there unless you have nuclear in the mix. Now, against that, you have people saying, actually, renewables work far better, are just as clean, and can be backed up with batteries, hydro and gas peakers. And that if you go nuclear, you're just going to divert attention from, doing a transition to solar and wind. The Australian deadline for this is really the end of next decade, because that's when all the coal-fired power plants are due to retire. So it's a question, can the coalition possibly build nuclear plants in time, if they're elected, to make a contribution to getting to net zero? And
you dived into, of course, the Australian political debate over this, including a contribution from Malcolm Turnbull, who makes his views very clear.
Not great friends with Peter Dutton. I don't know why, but yes, Malcolm Turnbull is very much against this proposal. Not surprisingly, I mean, it's always been a rift in the Liberal Party between those who think it's a fabulous idea and those who think it's madness. The National Party has always been very solidly behind nuclear. They don't like all the wind farms and solar plants popping up, on farmland in regional areas. That's not so much to do with climate change, of course, as just the idea they want good baseload power. But yeah, it is a complex debate, and the coalition has Mount Everest to climb to get this policy up.
Yeah, and as part of that, you spoke to Ted O'Brien, the coalition's point man for this, very strongly advocating his point of view that nuclear will work in the long run.
Yeah, and look, there are many, many proponents of nuclear. If you look in the United States, it's got bipartisan support.
Yeah.
There are many countries that are, after having not built nuclear for many decades because of the expense, are now thinking, well, we have to now. A lot of research and innovation going on. But there are those who think nuclear is great, just not for Australia. So, it is a complex debate. I hope you watch and see some of those complexities.
Well, listen, Eric, I'll be watching for 2 reasons. One, it's a great story, but also B, it's a special report because it's your last Four Corners story as you prepare to leave the ABC.
It is.
Congratulations, my friend.
Well, thank you. I've been here since, I think, the 17th century when I last checked. So I kind of feel like it's time to work in other places, other broadcasters. So, yeah, I'm going out the door at, 6 o'clock tonight, but I'm going to keep working. So
we're showing our viewers some highlights of some of your stories over the years, including you and a camel.
Yes.
There's a very young Eric Campbell on the screen now. I don't know whether you can see these pictures, but
haven't changed a bit in the last 400 years.
You've aged well. Now, in all seriousness, and Bridget, I'm sure would agree, congratulations, Eric, on your storied career with the ABC.
Thank you very much.
I have an Eric story in that I was reporting from Poland one day, and I turned around and who was behind me but Eric Campbell.
Imagine our surprise.
There's never an ABC crew too far away, and we had a lovely time, didn't we, Eric? And I love your reporting so much, and I'm sad.
Thank you very much. All the fun you can have at a far-right rally in Warsaw.
Yeah, we did. Certainly see a bit, didn't we? Well, congratulations.
Thanks,
and you've been such an asset to the ABC,
Yes,
Eric.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Eric Campbell there. And catch Eric's report, Four Corners, tonight at 8:30 on ABC TV and live at any time, anywhere on ABC iView.